Welcome and thank you for joining us at Boca Raton's first State of the City address. Will you all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, on behalf of my fellow council members, Andrea Levine-O'Rourke, Monica Mayotte, and Andy Thompson, who are here, and Deputy Mayor Jeremy Rogers, who could not be with us tonight, I'm grateful that you're here as we share some stories of our city's successes over our past year, and thank those who continue to help us reach our goals. Our shared vision for our city starts in the imagination of our residents and comes to life in the programs and services we provide. So to get started, I'll ask you to imagine your ideal city. What do you picture in your mind? Beautiful beaches, friendly neighborhoods, tree-lined streets, children playing? Maybe it's arts and culture, thriving businesses, great shopping and dining, top-notch education and job opportunities. Sharing all of these things with friends, family, and neighbors. How do you feel about your ideal city? Are you connected and involved? Are you proud of your city? You probably expect history and character, a sense of place, and a thriving culture of philanthropy and ordinary kindness. An ideal city would embody the spirit of a community. I think we just described Boca Raton, and I think I'm not alone in that view. Through the efforts of our entire community and the nearly 2,000 City of Boca Raton employees, we work to fulfill that vision. Please look to your left and your right. You are the people that make Boca Raton work. Thank you all for being here. We'd like to recognize many of our city employees, including our city manager, Lee Feinell, city attorney, Deanna Grube-Frieser, deputy city manager, George Brown, many department heads, as well as County Commissioner Robert Weinroth. Thank you all for being here. We'd like to thank the Mizner Park Cultural Arts Association and its president, Peg Anderson, for making this beautiful venue available to us. Each year, your city council, city staff, and residents meet in a strategic planning session where we map out our priorities. We envision the future and then together set measurable goals. Tonight, we'll discuss some of that progress. First, we've got great news to share. The state of our city is strong. As in our annual goal-setting meetings, we'll begin our discussion tonight with a reminder of our common mission and the vision for our city. We focus on how we provide services and why we do it. We discuss the core attributes of what makes Boca Raton so special. We identify 4 overarching goals. Tonight, we'll highlight each of these goals, starting with our commitment to world-class municipal services. The first function of government is to make sure our people are safe. Our police department serves as a shining example of innovative community policing and prevention. From our self-defense classes for seniors, Cane Fu, to our Coffee with a Cop series, our officers are on our streets, in schools and neighborhoods as a vital part of our community. Our department has helped reduce car burglaries by using creative videos to remind residents to lock their car doors and leave valuables out of sight. The latest community policing effort is a campaign to make sure college students who are living off campus for the first time understand how they can be better neighbors to long-term residents. Our department has also trained officers who specialize in social services and mental health challenges to address problems like homelessness and to connect residents to needed help. While the focus is on prevention, when incidents do occur, our officers and staff, including our 911 operators, investigators, and lab technicians, are the finest anywhere. Through our commitment to provide one of the most competitive salary and benefits packages for new hires in the country, we've been able to retain and expand more officers to increase our reach, and our ability to better serve and protect our residents. We're also fortunate to be served by our outstanding fire rescue department. Our firefighters and paramedics have responded to all types of life-threatening challenges. They've been recognized nationally for their excellence, with the coveted Class 1 ISO rating that puts them in the top half of the top 1% of all departments in the country. What does that mean to residents and businesses? Of course, save lives, but it also means lower insurance rates for all of us. This year, we'll augment these resources by adding $2 million in new equipment to enhance our rapid emergency response times. We're also rebuilding Fire Station 6 on Clintmore Road to better serve our residents. Innovation is prized at Fire Rescue as well. This past year, we partnered with PulsePoint. This app allows residents who are trained in CPR to receive alerts from our 911 system so they can begin performing resuscitation even before our paramedics arrive on scene. In just a little more than a year since it was launched, nearly 1,000 residents are receiving alerts so they can help their neighbors. If you're trained in CPR, we encourage you to sign up and be part of this innovative and volunteer-based program. What's part of the greatness of our city? The deep sense of care that so many residents are eager to help each other and here save lives. Here to tell us more are Chief Wood and Chief Muccio.
Hello, I'm Fire Chief Tom Wood with Boca Raton Fire Rescue Services, and all of our members are pleased to serve the citizens of Boca Raton day in and day out. When a citizen calls us on their worst day, we arrive and we hopefully make things better for them, or at least stop the loss. And we stress to all of our employees that customer service is top priority and that they should treat the customer with respect and with compassion. We are blessed with city leadership that values world-class services. Second, we are blessed with employees that are second to none, the best of the best. Third, we have the best facilities, apparatus, equipment, tools, and safety features of any agency. And fourth, we earned a Class 1 ISO rating back in 2016. We're currently under review for making sure we keep that. There's only less than 1% of fire departments in the whole country that have that ISO class ratings. I'll sum up our mission, vision, and value statements with the 3 words that we have etched into our department challenge coin, which is service, compassion, and respect.
Hi, I'm Michelle Muccio. I'm the interim police chief of the Boca Raton Police Department. Our mission is to protect and serve, and we do that with fairness, integrity, respect, service, and trust. Your police department is comprised of 327 men and women, law enforcement and civilian, who are dedicated to the safety of the city of Boca Raton. We do this by staying current with technology, training, and equipment to stay true to our mission. We enforce the law, but we look for opportunities to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Boca Raton. We serve our community in several ways. Our officers share in the community policing philosophy, but through our community engagement unit, we can devote resources to specific community concerns. We also have a very active presence on social media through our public information office, which keeps our community informed and sometimes entertained. We look forward to our continued partnership with the community and to protecting and serving you.
They deserve a lot of applause. While our first responders are easily recognizable, the infrastructure we depend on every day is often invisible. It's more than the roads we use. It's the complex web of utility lines below ground that provide the safety, security, and convenience we take for granted, at least until something's not working. The recent stories of water and sewer line breaks just to our south are stark reminders of the importance of investing in infrastructure. Nearby local reports of sewage spills outside homes have in the last few days become a national story. We work hard to avoid that type of disaster. Not only are we budgeting nearly $50 million in upgrades this year, we plan to invest more than $750 million over the next 15 years to evaluate, prioritize, and improve the critical network of pipes and roadways in our city. Not only is Boca Raton investing, we are innovating. Let's take a look.
The city's Innovative Sustainable Infrastructure Program, ISIP, is our response to making sure we are proactively managing all of our city's underground and above ground infrastructure. We're looking at water, sewer, sidewalk, roadway, drainage, any sort of municipal service that the city offers within a neighborhood. We're making sure we are holistically upgrading it. Why are we doing ISIP? If you could see across the country, their infrastructure is old, and a lot of times we don't know that there's a problem with infrastructure until it affects somebody's quality of life. We're very lucky in the city of Boca Raton to look at our infrastructure and manage it before it becomes a problem. We want to make sure we're proactively implementing sustainable and resilient upgrades to our infrastructure. ISIP is a multi-year project. Right now, we have the first 5 years of ISIP being implemented, and we're planning for the next 10. We are looking at ways to make sure that we can work with the other departments in the city of Boca Raton, not only from a timing perspective, from a budgeting perspective. ISIP projects use a variety of city accounts and city funds, so we want to make sure we're maximizing those city funds on every project we implement.
You know, I've been super impressed. The teams that are doing the work, I can see just very clearly in how they're executing the job that it's being done right. But what made me really feel that is when I talked to the teams, because I had some concerns, of course. They were very open to working with me, easy to contact, easy to work with, and they walked me through what was going to happen. They came out and did the job, and they didn't make a mess of my property. They really made a minimal impact to the situation while they're digging up the streets. So when it comes to this project, I think it's a great example of Boca planning ahead and making sure that the city is going to be a gem like it has been all throughout history. They're planning to make sure that the residents that live in this city have a quality of life that is positive.
We can all feel more secure that Boca is working to prevent problems other cities are now facing. Local government is often judged by basic things, like whether the trash gets picked up on time. This past year, after exploring the possible outsourcing of our sanitation services, the City Council unanimously decided to retain all of our 57 sanitation employees in-house. We didn't feel that the short-term, smaller savings justified a change to one of the most valued services in our city. During this discussion, residents shared many stories about the many ways our sanitation team provided them with excellent service. Indeed, residents are engaging with us more and more, and fortunately, the feedback is largely positive. Here are only a few of the comments we've recently received on social media. And it's not only our residents who have heaped praise on the city's efforts. Many departments and employees have been recognized recently for their excellence by state and national organizations. They include recent awards to our own John Cosmo as State Building Official of the Year, our Utility Services Department for their sustainability efforts, and our communication teams receiving the Savvy Award. I'm grateful to all of these employees, and especially to our communications team who's helping make tonight possible. We've discussed our world-class services. Let's talk a little about our strong financial position. We are blessed to have a lasting, healthy economy, and it didn't happen by accident. Our city of 100,000 residents has the business strength of a much larger city. In business, we punch above our weight class. Boca is home to more than half the corporate headquarters in all of Palm Beach County. Through our economic development efforts, we have created or retained more than 10,000 high-paying jobs. And for every job created, several more are maintained. We've also committed to creating an innovation and technology ecosystem in Boca, and we're focusing those efforts through our new Office of Innovation. By partnering with FAU's Research Park and Tech Runway, we are assisting in the support of these business incubators and accelerators so they can nurture startups who will stay and grow in Boca Raton. Deputy Mayor Rogers is an example of a distinguished FAU graduate who was able to begin and continue a high-tech career in Boca. We're looking to retain the next generation of grads and future employees. As the birthplace of the IBM personal computer, we're building on our tradition of innovation to continue to attract talent in major fields of telecom, aviation, and medical technology. Companies like Modernizing Medicine, Strax, Orbcom, and the most recent new corporate headquarters, e-gaming leader Mayhem Sports, are providing a new base of jobs for our growing universities. Let's hear what FAU President Dr. John Kelly has to say about the unique synergies for students and businesses.
My name is John Kelly. I'm the president at Florida Atlantic University. It's hard to beat the place we're living. Some of the reasons that it's such a wonderful place to live, obviously, is the climate and the location. You got 3 international airports within an hour of drive or so of this campus. That makes it very easy for you to get anywhere if you're doing international business. One of the things I think is so exciting, there's a real good vibe to the place. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of people that are very interesting. Almost every time you meet anybody, they have an interesting background or they're working on an interesting project. So intellectually, it's just a very stimulating place to be. The chance to advance fast in a company. We've got a lot of startup type companies that are not really startups anymore. They're maturing. They let you move very early in your career, which is a lot of what millennials want to know. They want to know, is there a chance for me to move up, or am I just here to hold a space? And so when they know that the company is very interested in them moving up and being able to advance based on their abilities and not on age, that's very exciting to them, and it's also a magnet for people that want to move here. And that's the kind of thing we try to think of with students. If you could do something with a student, why hire someone else to do it? Why not give the student the chance for them to learn skills for the marketplace?
Dr. Kelly didn't mention our low tax rate, but I sure will. Florida's become a top state in job growth through our low tax climate. And in Boca Raton, we're a strong example of a leading city and a leading state, with one of the lowest tax rates of any full-service city in Florida. And we haven't had a millage rate increase in 7 years. This chart captures some of the strength of our city finances and what they mean to residents' bottom line. As you can see, the taxes and fees that a typical homeowner pays in Boca are far lower than in nearby cities. We've already discussed some of the strength and depth of our services. You'd have to pay much more for the same types of services elsewhere. And even if you didn't have to pay more, would you trade the services in our city for any of these? Of course not. In Boca, we don't rest on our laurels, which is why we've launched a new series of streamlining efforts. Permitting time has been cut by more than 50%, with more interaction and information now available online. This matters for the small business who's eager to open its doors. It matters for the residents who can now get same-day emergency repairs without the hassle of other cities. And it matters when we try to attract the next great tech innovator as part of our rising ecosystem. In the coming year, we plan to implement more measures and completing a years-long project to update our sign code to ease the process while at the same time preserving the Boca look we've come to expect for our city. And at the same time, we've maintained strong reserves and a AAA bond rating, the highest available and one only few cities enjoy. Year after year, our Financial Services Department has been recognized by the Government Finance Officers Association for its excellence in financial reporting. Strong planning allows us to be able to invest and reinvest in the health of our systems and plan for challenges. And strong reserves are more than a balance sheet item. They enable us to be nimble, to respond to opportunities. One big example came within the last year. We pursued and secured what so many people have described as a game changer for our local economy: the unanimous decision by the City Council to enter into a deal with Brightline, soon to be Virgin Trains USA, for the construction of a downtown train station and parking garage. This public-private partnership with Brightline will implement long-term policy goals. Great credit goes to our staff who work diligently and aggressively on a tight timeline to seize this opportunity so we could be included in a major transportation network. Once open, these vital upgrades will provide big benefits to Boca's residents and businesses, and they'll advance the long-term future and connectedness of our city. As part of this process, we work to address concerns from neighbors, library patrons, and the Junior League of Boca Raton as we sited the garage and station. In this process, we're now creating a new, improved, and expanded community garden that will be more centrally located and provide educational opportunities with nearby Boca Middle School. Our collaboration with nonprofits like the League and the Friends of the Library reflect the importance we place on partnerships. While Washington, D.C. may be a world divided, we find success in forging strong bonds with a wide range of community partners. One of our most remarkable partnerships has been with the Palm Beach County School District. This past fall, we saw the new temporary campus for Verde Elementary open to students on land provided by the city. This site will soon house the first new permanent campus in more than a decade, helping us to add 1,200 student seats. Boca was the first city in the county to reach an agreement for the district to fund our police officers' continued presence so they could better secure our campuses. This past year, the City Council committed to prioritizing school security by funding $1.5 million in our budget for greater upgrades to our communications system and for school hardening. Every year, the city partners with local nonprofits on a wide range of community efforts, including providing grants to groups that provide essential services. These dedicated efforts, including their staff and volunteers, provide early education, mental health support, resources for seniors, and even more basic needs like food and safe places to sleep. Our nonprofits also add to the culture and beauty of our city. These two slides show just some of the many groups we're so fortunate to partner with and have in our city. Another frequent partner is the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District, a separate taxing body that covers nearly all city residents. Over decades with the district, we have been able to create parks, playing fields, and programs that are some of the brightest gems in our community. Many of you know about our ongoing discussions with the district about plans to move forward with a new public golf course at Boca Chica. And yes, while the conversation about golf has been challenging at times, I heard a sigh there, and taken up much of the recent discussion, golf is only one small part of our relationship. Regardless of who takes the lead on the golf course, we're all committed to public golf in Boca and, moreover, outstanding recreation and beautiful beaches in our city. We've also expanded our relationships with FAU and Lynn, with student intern programs inside City Hall and the newly formed Town and Gown relationship. Initiatives with the Boca Chamber and other business groups have helped us attract more commerce and tourism. We are grateful that the Boca Raton Interfaith Clergy Association and Interfaith Youth Group have fostered greater senses of understanding and community among our residents of different faiths. Our city's communication efforts have enabled resident associations and condo boards and groups like the Federation of Boca Raton Homeowners to get more helpful information to neighbors. These include targeted communications on Nextdoor and other social media platforms, and important public safety alerts available by email and text messaging. Later this summer, after a gap of several years, our Fire Rescue Services Department will restart our 9-week resident training program known as CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team. During disasters and other emergencies, the CERT teams will better empower neighbors to be there for each other. And our city is made greater by the effort of our countless volunteers. Our nearly 24 resident advisory boards have provided a wealth of insights and received recognition for their efforts, including the Community Advisory Panel's Youth Subcommittee, who recently received a state award. Through our volunteer programs, each year, more than 700 adults and teens together devote the incredible amount of 60,000 hours of their time to enhance our city programs. That's the stunning equivalent of 30 full-time positions filled by people motivated by their care for neighbors. And what we provide our nonprofits is only a small drop in an ocean of generosity. The people of Boca give so much of their time, talent, and treasure to support worthy causes. It's hard to imagine another city of our size with a community hospital supported by frequent donations in the tens and sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. And we're so fortunate to have the leadership of our Boca Raton Regional Hospital as great partners and also here tonight, as I saw CEO Lincoln Mendez and chair of our foundation, Mark Larkin. Thank you for being here. Home Depot founder Bernie Marcus is among those who've given so generously. And with his tremendous gifts, he has some insight in this area. Mr. Marcus has said that having lived and traveled across this nation, he's never seen a community as philanthropic as Boca Raton. His story is not the only one of our giving, and our community is stronger and greater because of it. With all of our success, none of it matters unless it's sustainable. We're making our community more vibrant today and ensuring its long-term health and well-being. Long known as the city within a park, we've expanded our green space and have an exciting moment this very week. After years of planning and a year of construction, we're elated that this Saturday we will open Hillsborough El Rio South Park. This $7 million effort reclaims what was until the 1960s a former dump site and turns it into a beautiful waterfront park with playing fields and courts, trails, and canoe launches. We hope you'll join us this Saturday at 9:30 in the morning for the ribbon cutting. This park reflects our commitment to enhance water access as part of our waterfront master plan. Within the next 2 years, we look forward to reclaimed kayak trails and a new boardwalk at Lake Wyman Park and a new downtown urban green space at Wildflower. In December, the city also took over management of the beloved Boca Raton Children's Museum. We're working on renovations and expanded programming for our younger residents. In the next few months, we'll look forward to reviewing the results from Boca Recreate, a recent comprehensive data-driven study that included feedback from hundreds of residents and stakeholders. In the meantime, our parks and beaches remain active and vital, from our award-winning Dog Beach to the many charity events and races. On March 1st, Spanish River Park will again host the Boating and Beach Bash for people with disabilities. And what started as an effort by longtime residents and advocates Jay and Lowell Van Vechten has turned into the largest free event for people with disabilities in the entire nation. In the last year, the city has increased its efforts to ensure the environmental sustainability of our actions and work to partner with community institutions so we can all reduce, refuse, reuse, and recycle. Here to tell you more is our sustainability manager, Lindsay Narodka.
My name is Lindsay Narodka. I am the Sustainability Manager for the City of Boca Raton's Office of Sustainability. The city has begun looking at sustainability initiatives in order to better enhance its resiliency to future conditions and make sure that we're using our resources and serving our residents in such a way that we are maintaining that triple bottom line balance of the economy, the society, and the environment. In the summer of 2019, the city released its first sustainability action plan. This action plan is a guideline for what we are going to be doing over the next few years in the field of sustainability. Some of the things that we're working on right now are data collection. So we are just about to finish our first greenhouse gas inventory for the city. This will give us a sense of where we're creating the most greenhouse gases and the actions that we can take to have the biggest impact reducing those greenhouse gas emissions. We're also about to begin a climate change vulnerability assessment that will help us to figure out where to best focus our efforts for future climate resiliency. We have been looking internally at a lot of our own processes, and particularly with single-use plastics, looking for ways that we as a city can reduce our own use of single-use plastics. And we've been looking at our events, as well as what we can do for our own meetings and within our own offices. We're looking at the way that we purchase as a city, the way that we build as a city, and the way that we drive as a city. So some of our initiatives moving forward are going to be looking at our procurement policies, our own municipal fleet, as well as our own municipal buildings. So making sure that we are able to maintain the same level of services and the main quality of life we've been able to provide for the last 100 years.
And in that video, you saw clips with our Mars truck, a creation of our municipal services staff. That innovation provides clean drinking water at city events and can eliminate the need for thousands of plastic water bottles each time it's used. We've launched the successful Coastal Connection program, in which we recognize restaurants and businesses for their efforts to cut down on plastic waste. Soon, the city will launch Boca-branded reusable water bottles, not unlike this one, and shopping bags to bring awareness on what we can each do to cut back on our waste and reliance on disposable and single-use items. Through the continued advocacy of Councilmember Monica Mayotte and others, including the members of the Green Living Advisory Board, we've explored other ways to reduce pesticide use and test more natural landscapes in high-traffic areas, while still balancing expectations of the Boca look for green space. We hope these efforts will make all of us decide to make more conscious choices about how we use our resources. And these environmental-friendly efforts have spread. To supplement the city's use of advanced equipment to clean our beaches, volunteer beach cleanup efforts began in earnest a few years ago. They've now blossomed into what seem to be weekly gatherings by many groups. The city now provides buckets on the beach for trash pickup, and our beachgoers use them daily. Thanks to Councilmember Andy Thompson, the neighborhoods along St. Andrews Boulevard and other places have been cleaner too, because he's been one of the most prominent ploggers in town. What's plogging, you ask? Well, as I learned because of his efforts, plogging is picking up litter while jogging, and the concept is spreading. And as someone who likes to clean and appreciates clean streets, but doesn't like to jog, I'm glad that he and others are doing so. We work with other cities as part of the South Florida Regional Climate Change Compact, and we're looking at steps to be proactive to guard against challenges like sea level rise. Boca Raton is working to ensure our city remains safe and healthy for generations to come. We discussed some of the natural vibrancy of our green spaces and coastline. One of the most visible parts of our recent enhanced vibrancy has been through our Art in Public Places program. Councilmember Andrea Levine O'Rourke has been a passionate advocate for public art, including our recent mural projects. Within the last few months, the new murals on the tunnels to the beach at Spanish River Park have become among the most photographed in all of Palm Beach County. And at more recent council meetings, we've discussed 2 new public art efforts that are also going to serve as educational projects at FAU. We look forward to the installation of these works, the Nest at Sanborn Square, and a sea turtle sculpture near the beach. We've also seen private landowners getting on board, adding more public art to beautify our landscape. We host a wide range of cultural, entertainment, health and wellness, and community-based events to enhance the lives of residents. These offerings also bring renown beyond our borders. What started as a volunteer effort and a privately funded venue, the Festival of the Arts Boca has grown to bring headliners in music, dance, letters, and more. This year's festival will return in a few weeks to the amphitheater and this space. And speaking of this space and the gallery where we gathered earlier tonight, the Cultural Arts Association has revitalized those spaces and is looking to turn those what were underutilized areas into gathering spots for our community groups. The city sponsors 2 signature sporting events, the Boca Raton Bowl College football game and the Boca Raton Championship on the PGA Champions Golf Tour. Together, these events allow us to showcase our city to millions of national network TV viewers and serve as great ads for business relocation, while also helping to fund our local nonprofits. We also have dedicated arts and culture every day, from the Boca Ballet, and I saw Andrea Doyle here, and the Boca Museum of Art and Irvin Lippman, and the consortium that's developed not only to bring culture but expand it in our city. Those efforts are revitalizing our city and adding more beauty every day. We've given residents more ways to explore our city and its natural beauty by expanding the El Rio Trail and shared use pathway on Palmetto Park Road. We've improved our placemaking with new wayfinding signs, and we continue to make our streets more walkable with intersection improvements in and outside of the downtown. Our programs like Zumba at the Beach, or the largest yoga event in all of South Florida, provide both fitness and a feeling of community. Our special events team has turned mainstay holiday events into fresh, new celebrations with a focus on service, like Veterans Day in our new location at DeHornley Park, or the expanded programming for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Altogether, these visible efforts provide a sense that these spaces are not just owned by the public, they belong to the public. What makes Boca Raton unique isn't just our outstanding beauty or our world-class services or our special neighborhoods and parks. Of course, we receive recognition for our wonderful attributes and many efforts, and on screen you'll see some of the recent media mentions and kudos. We do have a strong brand and an identity that encompasses many of the things that we imagine the ideal city should be. But all of that is because of our people. The people are the heart of our city. It's the people in our community and their dedication to preserving our history and envisioning our future. It's the residents who bring ideas and initiatives, those who strive to make every aspect of our city better. As I came in tonight, I saw a number of residents who've served on volunteer boards, including some who've served going back decades, including Derek Vanderplug, Lenore Wachtel, and Trudy Stevens. Thank you all for your dedicated service and all of our board members who are here tonight. It's the Junior League of Boca Raton who embody service and community in all they do, and then go further, each year celebrating the most outstanding volunteers from 40 other organizations. It's any of our city's 6 Rotary clubs and countless other groups who celebrate our doctors, our leaders, and our visionaries in the spirit of service. It's residents who offer new visions for revitalizing their neighborhoods, as groups are now doing in Pearl City, Boca Square, and along the Dixie Highway corridor. It's the Boca Raton Beautification Committee volunteers who give awards to businesses and neighborhoods for improving landscaping. It's our former fire chief and longtime board member Carrie Cohen, whose latest service is providing beautiful photos of our city sunrise to adorn our website. It's Gordon Gilbert, who's had 2 lifelong careers, first as a beloved public school teacher and then as the driving force behind Gumbo Limbo Nature Center. It's Dan Kane, who not only created the largest number of jobs in the county within the last decade, he worked hard to ensure that they would stay here in Boca Raton. It's Mary Czar and the team at the Historical Society, whose dedication preserves and enhances our century-old legacy. It's our higher education leaders like Dr. Kevin Ross from Lynn University and Dr. John Kelly from FAU, whose visions will attract the next generation of residents. And it's countless other people. Our greatest strength isn't our economy or our geography. It's the people of Boca Raton. Tonight we saw some of the work by our dedicated City of Boca Raton employees. I feel so fortunate not only to serve with dedicated colleagues on the dais, but also with all of this larger group of 2,000 colleagues. They bring life to our mission of service to our residents. Thank you to all of you who are here with us tonight and to all at the City of Boca Raton team. The heart of our city is our people, our employees, our partners, our residents. Our people are why the state of our city is so strong. Our people keep the heart of Boca Raton beating with a steady rhythm toward a brighter future. May the many blessings we all enjoy continue to shine on our strong and united city and on all of you. Thank you.